Hi guys, welcome to Rootstem and welcome to this quick little review of Into the Dark booklet. Hi guys, thank you very much for joining us. If you do like the content, please consider liking, sharing, subscribing and all the usual good stuff that you can do here on YouTube. And in today's video, I'm just going to quickly have a look at the book that came with the Kill Team Into the Dark set. It's not a massive sort of tome of books, and I've also done one looking at the terrain and what you get in the box. Hopefully both videos are going out, or that video should be out before this one. And this video is just quickly looking into the actual contents of this book. Now, the contents of this particular book is not very different to any other that you may have come across. You've still got your standard Into the Dark items. You've still got explanation regarding Spacehulks. Not quite sure why we didn't call this one sort of like Kill Team Spacehulk, but there we go. And it tells you all about the Gallowdark, which is what a lot of these campaigns are going to be based on. It goes into describing the Imperial Navy and the armsmen that you're actually going to be playing in this particular campaign, especially about the breaches. And each element, including the crew, have these things here where they have kind of like names, and then they have kill team names with backgrounds. They have squad quirks, just to try and give you a quick little sort of background to your force. And when you get to the forces, a typical sort of type thing where you see what you can and can't have. Of course, archetype is telling you right at the top. It's telling you what units and what units you're going to be able to have, and of course what type of spec ops and army lists you're going to be able to field when you actually do field one of these particular kill teams. You've got some tac ops as well for the kill teams. These are, by the feel of it, I think these are going to be very based around storming the objective. So I could see people using these breaches in other games, but it might be that they are definitely built around doing kill team games, especially sort of like towards more of a Spacehulk theme. Of course, some of the rules as well for the abilities for this particular kill team, such as breach and clear, where you are allowed to, two particular Navy operatives can be suddenly become a group activation characteristic of 2. You can do that once per turning point according to the special rules here, which is actually really good, because if you've got 2 guys that really desperately need to go together, you can do that. It's a nice little rule. It's very fluffy, kind of thematic as well, because I've got the visions in my head of, like, you know, one guy running up, busting the door open, or busting the door open and sweeping through while the other guy provides supporting fire. They've also got void armor, which I think is a nice little touch. It affects them. It's mainly protecting them against sort of blast and tolerant weapons. Again, that's going to be pretty good. That void armor will be really good in standard games of kill team. I'm also sure that that one will be as well. Now, it's not saying that these are specific for this particular kill team game, but I mean, they are going to become pretty handy in here. There's also some, of course, special equipment for the breaches. One of them where you can actually sort of reload or load a particular shotgun with special ammunition types. Already stating that the grenades, because of course, it does annoy me a little bit that it state to you that anything marked with a thing can only be selected a maximum of 1. Grenades don't have that little icon, yet apparently you can't have more than 1. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But maybe in narrative games you can do, but other people seem to have screamed at me on the internet for suggesting such a thing. So maybe not. And of course, you've got your usual special equipment and rare equipment and strategic assets if you actually are going to be doing the Navy breaches as a ongoing kill team campaign. Looking at the crew, I did find it odd that they don't really have a lot of pages before you get to abilities. We've got here a rogue, which each time a shooting attack is made against its operative in the roll defense dice step, if in cover, you can retain 1 additional dice as a successful save as normal, or retain 1 dice as a critical save instead of a normal save as a result of cover. That's pretty good, I'll be honest. Being able to save 2 when you're actually in cover means that you're going to be very, very hard to shift. This, of course, again, just goes into the same stuff that we've already seen. telling you all about the crew, telling you all about what they can do in the actual game. I'm not going to go into too much detail on the actual forces. I think that, you know, you should really get the books, and if you're wanting to discover the forces, that's fantastic. I'm sure there's some other channels out there that's actually got talking about the forces. I am just really just having a look at this book and how it's going to affect my future games of Kill Team. All the usual good stuff. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So we're now coming to the actual rules of Kill Zone Gallowdark. Now, Kill Zone Gallowdark is effectively this, you know, this little nice little piece of terrain with all these. I'll just grab one. All these nice little walls. That's going to be telling you what things count as. It's also going to be telling you how you can class as being range within, so you can't actually do it through a solid wall unless the hatch is open. And it'll also give you examples here of when you are in cover with the wall. Again, usual gumph from Games Workshop. It's actually not. I don't know why, but on Kill Team they seem to have missed the mark on telling you when and where you're not in cover and how you're in cover. It's very convoluted, if I'm honest. It could have been made simpler, but it's not. And this, again, telling you all about the cover lines, telling you when somebody's in cover, when somebody's not in cover. If someone's beyond the wall and they draw a line and they're not in cover. I don't get it myself, but going over it and playing a few games, you'll probably start to understand it. And I'll be honest, this type of setup very rarely happens in any games that I've seen like this before. We've also got a nice double page telling you about hatchways and how they become accessible. That is, again, a little convoluted, but it's basically stating that certain people can get through. Certain people, if there's too many people there, you can't get through if you're not within so many inches of enemy operatives. It also tells you how to use the door. It's an action to actually open the door. So an operative can perform this action during a dash or normal move action, and the remaining increments of movement can be used afterwards. So you can move a couple of inches up to the door, you can open it for an action point and then keep going through the door. That's a nice way of doing it, but it does mean that you are losing an action point. So you're going to be looking at trying to get you guys to go through in teams, or if you're Space Marines, you're going to be able to smash the door open, you know, move up, open a hatchway, go through again, and go still going through, and then be able to shoot. It's going to be quite interesting to see what Space Marines do in this game, especially with the limited numbers compared to some forces like Guard when it comes to holding objectives. I'm looking forward to some of those games, to be honest. It also tells you about these things like the pipes, whether or not they are insignificant. I think the overhead pipe is insignificant, but that one isn't. These are kind of like the Gallowdark barricades, some special barricades that have been made for the Gallowdark, but in the set they do give you a set of standard barricades. So it's whether or not you use them or you use a standard barricade, it's completely up to yourself. And it tells you about a new action called Guard. Now the new action called Guard is basically it's setting yourself onto what we used to call the old school Overwatch. So what you're doing is you get to a corner, you play Guard, which is Overwatch, and then during an enemy's activation, if he performs an action, you can interrupt that activation, select one friendly operative on Guard to make the following as guard attacks. It can fire Overwatch, it can fight a free fight action, or it can perform a point blank Overwatch. A point blank Overwatch is doing an Overwatch while someone's within engagement range. Makes sense, because of course they are coming round and then you're just giving them a face full of shotgun maybe. I do like the fact that it is it's an Overwatch shot, it's not a standard shot, so it is going to be at -1 ballistic skill. So you are going to have that little bit of an edge, especially when you're like, well, when you've done this particular point of move, you probably, if someone's on guard, I'm guessing there's going to be people saying, no, I want you to use your increments or your circles, your 2 inches at a time to see whether or not I can shoot you and what's best to shoot you when you're not in cover. Some arguments might crop up regarding that. I don't think they will, because I mean, I'll just let people, well, you move your model and then I'll say you were you were here, you were there when I shot you. I don't think a lot of people is going to have a qualm about that. Maybe in tournaments and they might, but not if you're playing just some casual games. And then we get a small bit of rules regarding hatchway fight. This is kind of like a unique combat way of trying to breach through a hatch. I'm guessing this is probably something that they came up with in play testing when somebody was actually blocking stuff off and you couldn't get past. You've also got what's called condensed environment. This is quite a nice little rule because it basically means that anything with blast, splash and or torrent gain or critical hit rules again gain the lethal 5+. So flamers, they're going to be pretty good in here. If it's got a weapon with an indirect, you must choose whether or not to use the special rule. If you choose to do so, the range is reduced. It is reduced down to a 3-inch rather than the 6 for the shooting attack. That means you're going to have to be pretty up close and personal. Each time a friendly operative makes a shooting attack against an enemy operative, cover line is drawn to that enemy operative that crosses one or more operatives with an engage order, so you're not keeping your head down, excluding operatives with less than 5 ones because they're going to be tiny. You basically, the other person, you roll 1 less attack dice, so that's kind of like a -1 to how many attacks you're doing because somebody is effectively in your way. That even means if you're trying to hit someone that's more important on the opposite side. So if someone's got 2 guys, one with an engage order that's closer and is blocking a bit of the line or cover line, shouldn't really say line of sight, the cover line to the enemy behind it, then you're going to have a bit of a problem trying to shoot because you're going to be 1 less attack dice. It also goes to explain how barricades are different in this one because, of course, you're not really going to be doing the same. The board itself is very different and how you're deploying those barricades is going to be very different. And it also states that you can't have seize ground, hold a line, sabotage or vantage from your TAC ops. All you can have is some of the normal ones. Now, I've not gone through the TAC ops cards in the box set. I'm guessing there's still a full set because it is still a starter set. So I'm not quite sure why they've not sort of like given you some brand new TAC ops just for this game. I haven't, but it's nice to know that certain ones, like you're not going to suddenly end up with lots and lots of rules queries because you're using a TAC op that is not, it's not really something that can be played. When it comes to terrain, if you've not seen my other video, then that's in there. This is just basically giving you a quick description and or key on how to set up your actual pieces. So all of these standard hatchways, the long ones have been given A's, the shorter ones are given B's. That means that a door needs to be in that particular position. These are what your headed pipes, you've got your broken pipes, you've got pillars which are marked out with X's, wall ends are marked out with like looks like a pause, and then you've got V's, which is like C1, C2, C3, C4, C5. That tells you how to set up your boards. So there's actually 9 missions in this pack. It's always a good thing to have a good set of missions. And if you can see here, you would set up the board as such. You would then, if you wanted to put some pillars there, I suppose you could do, because sometimes you get a little space. But then here you would have to put a C4 there, you'd have to put a C2 there, you'd have to put a C2, you'd have to put a broken pipe there and a broken pipe there, C4, C1, 2 C5s. So it's telling you where to put everything. This, I'm guessing, is the basic mission, which is probably one of the missions I'm going to be looking at doing first. And then, if you can see from this one here, you've got some overhead pipes with some pillars in the middle that are functional, and then one overhead pipe that's kind of like broken. I like the look of that. This particular mission states that you're going to be trying to, these 2 are airlocks, so there's actually some special rules for some of the areas that you're going to be into. Those 2, like it says there, those doors are locked. So you're probably going to have to come in through the airlock or try and fight around to try and repair certain things. There's quite a lot going on in a lot of the missions, and I'm going to be very excited to be able to play some of these, including this one. This one's quite, you can't get to each other, but you're going to have to breach through this door. And as soon as you breach through this door, you've got this corridor in between you, which is kind of blocked off, but all your objectives are here. So you're both fighting, you're paralleling corridors and you're just bursting out and you're trying to secure whatever this particular chamber is. These missions do look like they're going to be some fun to do. They really do look like they're going to be some fun. Mission objectives that change, or siphon tallies. Some of the boards are slightly different for defenders and attackers. And then, of course, you've got your, what I would like to call like a generic one, which has actually got lights that you can turn on and off. That's going to be really cool. Then at the back, you've got kind of like the Gallo Dark exhibition expedition sort of playthrough, which is it's really cool because they're really sort of giving you a bit more of a campaign into this one, with sort of salvage, knowledge, resources, and they've even given you a Gallant Dark map for you to be able to photocopy. Permission to photocopy, of course, always at the bottom. I'm guessing that might actually be online to be able to download quite soon. That will then give you the ability to just have a look and create your own campaign, just as you storm each particular section, trying to gather up as much information as you possibly can. It looks really, really cool. It actually tells you all about the chapter Campaign Master's Edicts, which feels a little bit D&D, if I'm completely honest. And then, oh my god, I didn't even realise there's actually, I think there's more missions. Yeah, there is. There's even more missions at the back. So not only are you getting about 18 missions, roughly, or are you? 3, yeah. There's another 3, 6, 9 missions at the back. These are all sort of campaign missions, but even with campaign missions, you can still play them in normal games. That is a treasure trove. That is some good going there. And of course, you've got your little campaign notes at the back. All in all, if you haven't already got into the Dark, but you've already got Kill Team, I still highly recommend purchasing it. You can buy it from places for about £100 straight off, which for the board, for the actual rules and everything else that you get in, really does expand on your Kill Team experience, especially with the amount of plastic that you get in these sets. It's such a heavy box when you actually purchase it. I would highly recommend getting this set. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoy your future games of Kill Team. Please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button if you do want to see more. All the usual good stuff that you can do to people here on YouTube. And we'll see you next time.